Cocoa Mint Sugar Scrub Recipe, safe for the face.
Okay, I'm ready to make my emulsified sugar scrub that's in my book, Homemade Skincare Workbook. Now I'm using the recipe that's using beeswax. Now these emulsified sugar scrubs are really adaptable. In this recipe it called for cocoa butter and mango butter, but I am just doubling the amount of cocoa butter instead of using the mango butter. Now I've went ahead and measured out my avocado oil, my cocoa butter, and I really like these little wafers when I get cocoa butter. And when you buy cocoa butter, you can get the cocoa butter, has that wonderful chocolate scent, or you can get some that has been filtered and has filtered out and deodorized with no chocolate aroma. And of course I've got my beeswax and my emulsifying wax, and this is what is going to keep it from separating. I've started out sifting my sugar and sifting some honey powder. Now if you've not heard of honey powder, there's several places you can get it, but it's a powder. Honey, you don't want to use regular honey because we don't want anything that's water-based in this recipe. To start out with, I'm going to heat my my oils and butters in this metal pan, and one that is safe to use a beater with. You don't want to use any kind of pan that has the coating on it that you have to worry about the beater messing it up. And I'm going to melt this on low heat. I've got a medium low until all of this is just almost melted. Okay, I've taken this off the heat and made sure every little bit is melted in here. We don't want any lumps in our sugar scrub. And then I'm going to beat this with my mixer for 5 minutes. Now I don't want to get this all over me, so I've kind of taken a paper plate and put some slots in it so I can kind of mix it and keep an eye on it and beat this for 5 minutes. And I'm gonna set my timer for 5 minutes. Now if I'd had a really deep pan, I really wouldn't have had to put this on here, but I just don't want it splattering all over me. Okay, I've mixed this for 5 minutes, and my little paper shield worked pretty good keeping the oil off of me. Now I need to let this cool to 122 degrees before I add my essential oils, my vitamin E, and my preservative. So while this is cooling off, I'll be weighing these up. Okay, I've let this get down to below 122, and now I'm ready to add my vitamin E. I'm adding my preservative because this will be used where you know it's going to get wet. We're going to add a preservative. And then I'm going to add, this is a combination essential oils of peppermint, eucalyptus, and lavender. Now I could have used straight peppermint. I could have used any essential oils, but I find my customers really prefer the combination of eucalyptus, lavender, and peppermint to just peppermint alone. Okay, now once again I'm going to use my mixer to really mix this up well. I've let this cool off to 80 degrees, and I'm sifting my sugar and honey powder once again before I put it in it, because this honey powder tends to keep clumping up. Then I'll mix it with my hand mixer a little at a time and keep adding my sugar till I'm through with it. This really smells great. Now I'm ready to dip this into my sterilized jars.
Now I'm using plastic jars and not glass because this will be used in the bathroom. Now glass can easily be sterilized by boiling. You cannot boil plastic. Spray plastic containers with alcohol and let them set overnight until all the alcohol has evaporated. Now I have a YouTube video on sterilizing plastic containers, and you can follow the link or use the QR code.
Okay, now you can see how thin this is right now. But as the cocoa butter starts hardening up, it'll be a little thicker. We'll come back and look at it later. Now we do not want to put caps on this until this is completely cool. Okay, our sugar scrub has had a few hours to set up. And now you can see how much thicker it was than when we first put it in the jars.
If stored in hot temperatures, it will become runny again, but it will thicken back up in cooler temperatures. And enjoy my new book, Natural Skincare Workbook, with links to YouTube videos. It's in Kindle, it's in paperback. Now, this particular recipe is in the book, but does not have the link to this video. And you might be an herbalist if you make homemade skincare. Like, subscribe, and share so you don't miss any of these new recipes coming out.